I think that we are ready to go. I have a beautiful kitty next to me. Hello, everyone. No time to do makeup. As is my way, I am between patients, customers, you name it. It's been busy, busy, busy. We are going to wait a few seconds. Hello, Miriam. Hello, Noel. Noel, thank you for doing the moderating. Mystic Bella, beautiful name. Laura, thank you for joining us. Kathy W, great. We've got two moderators. Tina Pierucci, greetings from Canada. Hello. Nanu, hi. Mystic is back. Let's see. Bella, yes, we've said hi to her. Bridget W, Catherine Fallen, hello. Hello again to Miter Sanjista, I believe we've said hello before. Malay Kim, impish artist. Oh, sounds like someone who would be a friend of ours. Mighty God. I like that. Barbara Young. Hello, Barbara. Roses and Bees. Very nice. Donna Stephenson. Hello. Jane F. Yay, Nebraska. You guys have been getting a lot of rain. David Fleming from Illinois. Hello, hello. Kathy Nicholson. Hello. Spiritual Awakening. Hello. Donna Hagman. Eunice Ruffin. Impish Artist is back again. We've already said hi. Grace is Glory. Yes. Jamie G. Hello to Jamie. Margaret Merton. Hello. Patricia Jones. Liz O'Connor. So we'll be taking breaks after every blitz because people are frustrated that I can't see every question. So I totally get that. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do the blitzes. We get a lot of questions. Hi, Lean from Denmark. Laura, hello. Liz O'Connor from Ireland. Woohoo, Ireland! Sounds like a beautiful part of the world. Crystal from Wisconsin. Michelle, hello. Okay, so love free or die. I think you're going to have to be blocked, love free or die, because love free or die would like to know if I perform oral sex on penises. So for that reason, we're going to be saying bye-bye. So put user in a timeout, hide user. What do you guys think we should do? Let's go ahead and call it pornography, and we're going to report it. Not that I have anything, not that there's anything wrong with having a great sex life. I just don't feel like answering that question. Yes, Mark, hello. Mark, hello, Mark Rhodes. Mark Rhodes is doing a great event in San Francisco for people that want to support the LGBTQ community. I should announce that. He's going to be organizing watching the film by Kathy Griffin, and she's showing up, and they're going to do a Q&A. So if you're in San Francisco in November, be sure and check that out. I've got to give a little plug to him. All right, so we've got 100 people, 109 people. I think we can go ahead and get started. Hi, Hamanini. Just tell me what you want me to focus on, and I will be here. I can be here for about 45 minutes to an hour, give or take. Thanks for the hearts, Mark. If I could afford to, I would be in San Francisco, but I'm in a transcontinental relationship. So like all my money now goes to travel to Australia when I can afford to. Somebody wants me to look at Trump and his mental health. We can do that today. Somebody had also asked if we could look at whether or not Giuliani is about to be arrested. Probably he is. The secret server, will we get to see what's hidden there? Probably after the intelligence agencies rip these things apart. Bill Barr, people want me to access records on him. I can do that. Mike Pence, absolutely. Kellyanne Conway, we can do that again if you like, if we have time. Thank you, Nancy. That's very sweet of you to say. Okay, so it's interesting. The first thing is people got, there was a lot of discussions about not Bill Barr, Bob Mueller, and how Bob Mueller set the scene. One of the things that I kind of took away from what's been going on the last couple of years is just how the long game is played. You know, just how long the Russians will set up to do something, cultivating relationships with businessmen, looking for fronts so that they can take their black market money and put it into legitimate businesses and try and create new deals with countries that they're attempting to influence, whether it's the United States or Turkey or South America, and how they use these shell companies and these fake companies to bring in business persons to bribe, do illegal business, and have political influence on the country that they're attempting to deal in. So that was an interesting remote that I saw in terms of Donald Trump's relationship with the Kremlin. And it also leads me to suspect that this relationship with the Kremlin has been going on for a very long time, that there are a lot of business people that have this type of relationship with foreign governments, but specifically Russia. And that's looking more like Trump being a Russian operative than being crazy. I mean, it's part of the explanation that he got into business trouble is only the beginning of the conversation. This is starting to look like he intentionally engaged in money laundering schemes with the Russians through the Russian mob in order to push the agenda of the Russians. So that's not being crazy. That's not being stupid. That's someone who is intentionally working as a Russian operative. So it's really up to the powers that be whether or not they're going to charge him with high crimes. But I think it's probably looking like high crimes. When we did the remote 6 months ago, we saw four main counts. We can go back and take a look at that remote. That was based on what Mueller was building, and that was obstruction of justice was the first hit we got. The second was, does anybody remember that remote? A general disregard for the office he holds, an abuse of power. Those were three. There was a fourth one that they were going to get him on. I don't think that we're able to get him on conspiring with a foreign government. I think that they're not going to be able to get him on that. But it looked like from the remote, thanks, Miter. I think if you go back to when we accessed what Mueller was working on, there were 4 phases, but also that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats feel you can also, a general disregard of the office he holds. I didn't even know that was an impeachable offense, but evidently that was one of the things that came up. So we're going to go ahead and Marie Yovanovitch. Will the courage of Marie Yovanovitch. Marie Yovanovitch. Yeah, I think we should look at Marie Yovanovitch. Thank you. Let's go ahead and do some prayers because we've already been talking for about 10 minutes. And we will see what comes up. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and my viewers as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and wisdom needed to empower us and myself and my viewers to make the best decisions for ourselves, for the people we love, for our friends, for the people we sometimes disagree with, and for the planet. And with that, I say amen. All right, let's go in. We're going to do a week. The first thing when I did a remote last night and the night before is that this is going to feel like a roller coaster. This is going to feel like a roller coaster, and it's going to feel a little bit scary. So that's kind of the message from Spirit. You're going to be feeling like, whoa. So when that happens the next couple weeks, when we get that feeling like, what the heck is happening? The best thing that you can do and I can do is to just remain calm, take a deep breath, and enjoy the ride, and understand that everything is going to be okay, that the intelligence agencies have been working on this for years. This is going back to an investigation that was opened under the Obama administration. They continue to monitor the situation. Remember what Bob Mueller said? Sooner or later, you're going to be mine, right? I always get my man. That was Mueller's song. He was singing that 6 months ago, that he's patient. He can wait. He knows how to sit and wait. He can focus on something. He had the tax information because he had the accountant give immunity and supply all of the books. Remember when we did the remote on Fred, what's the name of the accountant? I can't remember all these names, but the accountant basically said that Trump is broke, but that is the thing that's being outed. So all of these businesses are just fronts for money laundering, and then they give him a cut. And that's how he keeps all these businesses open, because the function of the businesses is to wheel and deal for the Russian government. And that's why there's so many Trump business. It's not a coincidence that his businesses are in Turkey. Saying that he's concerned about Turkey because he has business there is missing the point. He has business in Turkey because the Russians set him up in Turkey. All right, let's go in. Roller coaster. Stay grounded. Meditate. Keep your head about you when all around you are losing theirs. Keep yourself safe. If you are in a state or in an area where there's a lot of Trump supporters, we could be seeing a lot of unrest, a lot of rioting or fighting. We don't want that. We want peace. But just be mindful, be alert, be careful, particularly if you're in certain areas as the weeks progress. You could see pockets of demonstrations. I'm also seeing impeachment protest building outside the White House. I'm seeing people holding up signs that say impeach, and over and over again, I'm hearing the mantra, impeach, impeach, impeach. And the signs are starting to build outside the White House. That group, a core group of people, which was a few hundred, is swelling to thousands and tens of thousands, calling on the impeachment of the president. I'm seeing the Senate starting to split. I'm seeing in the remotes that we now have the votes in Congress to impeach the president, and now people are starting to fall in the Senate. I'm seeing that we have about 13 seats already of people that are on the verge of going public. So if we had, I think it's 47 Democrats, that's 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. We're now at 60, between 60 and 62 by next week. Because in the vision, look, the vision was very clear. Lindsey Graham is the one to have this conversation with the president, because Lindsey Graham is the only one that can talk to this president at this point. So they will reach the majority needed in the Senate. He needs to take the deal that Mueller offered him. Mueller's patient. Mueller can wait. His kids signed the documents. He told his kids it would be okay and that he did it all the time. So his kids' signatures are all over this fraud. So he basically not only used everybody, he used his children as well. It's not his signature, it's their signatures. Isn't that nice of him? Talk about a father from hell. So that is one of the reasons why I have empathy and compassion for the children of Trump, because this is how they were raised. Weisselberg has immunity. Pecker from the National Enquirer has immunity. And Bob Mueller got he got everything that Pecker had in the vault, and he got everything that the accountant had. So yes, he followed the money. Of course, you don't get immunity from the Trump accountant unless you plan on using that information. And so he did what he was set out to do, which was that he packaged it all and sent it to existing investigations with the FBI, with the Southern District of New York and other federal agencies that were investigating these types of crimes. And what I love about Bob Mueller is that he doesn't care if people think that he dropped the ball. He doesn't care if people never find out the truth, because what turns Bob Mueller on is not getting gifts and bribes from Donald Trump. It's not money. It's not stuff. What turns Bob Mueller on is that he is a prosecutor who is doggedly determined to get the perp. This is what he lives for. This is what he's about. And this is why he will sit with his turkey sandwich on whole wheat that his wife made him because his cholesterol was too high. Mustard and a couple sliced vegetables. That's how he stays thin. And he will sit there and eat the same turkey sandwich, and he will look at the data, because the one thing that drives Bob Mueller is sooner or later you're gonna be mine. If you get that, you got Mueller. Let's go in. Continuing efforts to investigate. We have the spy card moving in with the Emperor. We're going to be seeing more of Barr. We're going to be seeing more of Barr in the coming weeks. Remember when we had done a remote, we couldn't see the investigation, but we saw two aspects of the investigation. And one aspect of the investigation was that something was going to hit and Barr would not protect this president. The fact that SDNY has begun arresting people, that means that Barr okayed it. So Barr has stepped back and recused himself from what the SDNY is doing. Now, whether or not Barr misled Congress, misled the Senate, I can't say. All I can say is that when I went into the remote about what was the intention of Barr, it was to stabilize this administration so that the chaos would come to an end, and if necessary, negotiate a good deal for the president if he has to resign. It was not to help this president stay out of jail. So as far as the country is concerned, 9 of Cups, we're going to be okay regarding an offer. Offers keep coming up. Ace of Cups. I think that the feds have been very generous, and they've had to be very generous. They've given a lot of gifts. They gave gifts to Flynn, which they haven't sentenced yet, who was doing deal with the pro Putin Turkish parties that were pro Putin. He hasn't gotten sentenced yet, but we now see, because of the where the investigation is headed, that it was about strategically setting up shop in countries that were beneficial to Russia and bribing people in order to make that happen, and that Russia played the long game. But we can see here that the FBI is playing the long game also. This is something that's very difficult for the average American because we are a little bit spoiled. If we want to have hot chocolate brownies, we just buy a pre-made mix and stick it in the microwave for 5 minutes. So we want it, we want chocolate, we want it now, and boom, 5 minutes later we get it. That's kind of the way we're programmed here in the United States. But the intelligence agencies, they do investigations that will sometimes go on for 20 years. It's the long game. And I think that that was something that was very difficult for the average American watching this. And it was frustrating also for those of us who were remote viewers, because we could get in and see aspects of the long game, but what the public was being told was something entirely different. And all I could do and all the other remote viewers could do is deliver the information as we saw it. And I was pressured sometimes to say, well, maybe I'm wrong. But I felt pressured to you feel like you're pressured or to distort what the remote is. And that's really something, those of you who are becoming heart-centered remote viewers professionally, readers professionally, you have to be humble. We have to be humble. We make mistakes. But at the same time, you have to be neutral and just deliver the message how you hear the message. But we're going to get our wish, and they're being very generous with offers to but I see people jumping the ship. Look at this. This is jumping the ship. People are saving themselves. Look at all these offers. Look how compassionate the American intelligence agencies are being to people that were part of the scheme. They're not interested in the little people. This was a long concerted effort on the part of Russia to influence and dismantle America's policies against Russia. And that meant bribing Congress people, business people, transferring money to fake businesses in order to bail out business people and people of political interest that could help Russia in its agenda. And they've been doing this for decades. But they're willing to, it looks on the outside like Mueller was too nice to them. Oh, Mueller, you were too nice to Flynn. You were too nice. The purpose of giving all these, low sentences was because they were building a case. So they weren't really after the little people. They were really after the big fish. But the fact that you have an energy moving in where people are walking away, where there's heartbreak, where people are walking away. Look at this action reaction, right? You have the 5th house and the 6th house. Action. The action is to be changed to something that is destructive, a relationship that's destructive, a person that's destructive, leads to heartbreak and abandonment. Somebody comes in and saves the day and gives you an Ace of Cups. Take the deal. So we're looking at a lot of whistleblowers now. Can people see that? Because the feds are still willing to make deals. But look at the end of this relationship with the devil. Where the Trump administration is, where the GOP is, where people are in relationship to this, 5 of Wands. This is a frantic feeling of desperation, like what the hell do we do now? They don't need to be fighting and screaming amongst themselves. That's not what they need to be doing right now. They don't need to be eating. They don't need to be cannibalizing themselves. That's not going to help them. And that's not going to help them and their lawyers arrange a deal with the feds right now. Each of them is going to have to work out their own deal with the feds because each of them has a different thing they need to be worried about. I think Kellyanne is an informant. I think Pence was an informant. People who are skeptical about whether or not Pence was an informant, I did a remote on Pence a couple of days ago, and what Pence said is that it was an insurance policy, and his wife and his lawyers told him to take that deal. And the reason why is because he knew how unstable this president was, and he knew that he wasn't going to go down with the ship. And so Pence took the Rosenstein deal. There were 3 cabinet members that agreed to wear wires. Pence was one of them because of an insurance deal. He needed protection and he gave himself protection. So did Kelly. And probably Mathis as well. But they need to stop. Look, right now you're going to start seeing the GOP attack. Could blow up that they're attacking each other and it's going to get ugly. And that's not what they need to be doing right now. They need to take care of themselves. Talk to your lawyer. Because this is over. This is over. They won. Here's the FBI's cards. The other in relationship to this crime or the White House, they're fine. They were always fine. They were always in control. It was rope-a-dope. That's what I keep hearing from the FBI, what I keep hearing from Robert Mueller. You give a huge public demonstration that you are closing the case. The criminal gets cocky and starts to take more and more brazen chances. Meanwhile, you've set up a sting operation. Everything is in place. And you sit back and do what they started doing under Obama, monitoring the situation. You've got your people there who are wired, like Pence. And when the time is right, people will know about it. But it's starting now to leak that Rosenstein asked 3 people to wear wires. Deal. Ace of Pentacles. Double aces. An offer and the Ace of Pentacles. So we pulled double aces. Look, the takeaway here on the remote for this week, here's the first thing, is to just be aware, those of you who are empaths and readers, just be aware that this is going to feel like a roller coaster. Like you're going to start feeling like, If you're an empath, just keep doing the meditation. Just keep grounding yourself and breathing and observing. Learn to be able to step back. You can observe the emotions. You can observe the chaos. Keep yourself safe. Don't go into neighborhoods where there's riots. If there's nothing to see there, just let the FBI do their job. Keep yourself safe. And understand that if you do that, everything's going to be okay. I want to do my clarification now for everybody. The GOP is going to grow a spine. As far as the feds are concerned, it's they've turned a corner. You can see the Queen of Swords moving in. The final outcome. Strife. There's going to be strife, and somebody, there could be health challenges, emotional exhaustion. I think Kellyanne was an informant. People had asked about her. I think she was an informant. I can go in and check again, but a lot of them were informants. I like what Pence said when I did a remote a couple days ago. He said it was his insurance policy. What, he's going to get in trouble for doing the right thing and reporting crimes? Of course not. All right, so I'll go back and just check what everybody has said, and then we will move on to the next question. I want to make sure I'm getting everybody's. Trope-a-dope is what Daniel says. Yeah, Kelly, yeah. It's now coming out that he was one of the people that was asked to wear a wire. Also, when we did remotes on the intelligence agencies, we saw that they were holding on to information. And then once they got the all clear from the intelligence agencies, they were given permission to release the information to the Washington Post and the New York Times. And one of the people could have been Rosenstein and could have been Kelly, but it was always after the intelligence agencies were done with the material. So screaming that it was an illegal leak, that's really not true. We were getting leaks that were a year old, 6 months old, and it was coordinated with the intelligence agencies. That's how it looked. Some of the leaks involved personal members of the Trump family who, as a remote viewer, I'm obligated to protect. But certain members of the Trump family did have access to computers. They did have access to home computers. And certain members of the Trump family, when they saw certain emails on home computers, they contacted judges, legal persons who were members of the friends of the family who they trusted, and basically became informants for the FBI as a result of that. And those people would like to remain anonymous and probably will for possibly ever, or 20. When they decide that they want to go public, that's fine. But basically, that's one of the ways that the FBI was able to get emails from certain persons. And I think that the FBI was very good at protecting those informants. But the takeaway here is that we should be nice to our wives. We should be nice to our family members, because if we're doing something we shouldn't be doing and it shows up on a home computer, that wife you're not treating so nicely might turn around, hand it over to the judge, who's a friend of the family, who then arranges a meeting between you and the FBI. And then the next thing you know, there's a lot of incriminating evidence about you. So the lesson here is obey the law and be nice to your partners. All right, so we're going to go ahead and now check to see if Giuliani is going to be arrested. Yes, Giuliani, Kellyanne, informant. Yes, she is. We did that one. Yeah, a lot of major arcana, Debbie. That's true. This the reading was about the White House for the week. Okay, so I think we got to all the questions. Now we can move on to another throw. Yes, Trump, Pence. I think Pence, because there's more coming out about how Pence cooperated, it's probably going to save them. He's right about the insurance policy. All right, let's do Giuliani. All right, Spirit, what is the future of Rudy Giuliani? Let's just ask what his future is. What is the future of Rudy Giuliani? I've got a bad feeling. One of the things I'm getting is that what the Russians did, what the Russian mafia did, is they found what they like to find out what people's proclivities are, whether it's their sexual proclivities or whether they like knickknacks or whatever it is. And then how they compromise you is by giving you by graciously offering you gifts that you will appreciate. And usually the compromising starts off with just some nice, sweet little things, and then it escalates. It feels to me when I go into Giuliani's energy like he has certain proclivities or certain secrets or certain things that he is attracted to, as we all have. And that appears to be how he was compromised. We can see that the law is over Giuliani. You can see Giuliani's card. The law, justice, right? But specifically, this is the Torah, and so this is more divine law or divine, the divine light shining. It's interesting. There's this idea in Jewish mysticism that the Torah, ta'or, to bear light, is the light of the divine expressed in written form. So between the letters and between the writing, within the writing are the lights. The lights and the spiritual awakening is hidden in the scrolls themselves. And so this is why people spend their lives studying Torah, studying Talmud, studying spiritual subjects, mysticism, because they're trying to get past just the letters and see the purity of the light. And that's really how I interpret this particular card. The High Priestess, you can see also it has the pomegranates in the background. There's an idea in Judaism that the pomegranate was the fruit in the Garden of Eden because it contains 613 seeds, which corresponds to the laws of the Torah. And through being aligned with the law, we become enlightened. So in plainer words, it's similar to the Eightfold Path of Buddhism in the sense that when you live an upright life, and you follow an upright path, it lead you towards the light. So it's that aspect of truth, or that aspect it's a little different than justice. It's more like to be enlightened or to be awakened. It's much deeper than just following the law. It's the purpose of the law in the first place, which is to become awakened. B and a J, I've always read that as Baruch, or blessed, and then Yud K Vav K, which is pronounced Yahweh in English, but we say Yud K Vav K, Yud He Vav He, which is the name of God. So blessed is the name of God. The fool takes the leap of faith regarding a treasure trove or something coming out. So the truth is there. They know everything already. So a ton of information is going to come out. He did work for the FBI. So there's a lot here about wealth and information coming out, and the lights coming out. The information that is hidden is going to be revealed. And there's a celebration or a rejoicing regarding we get the whole world. The whole world is here with Giuliani. He's in a state of extreme confusion. So I don't know if he's just shocked, he didn't expect this to happen, or what, but he's in the moon phase. This can be also somebody who drinks alcohol, blood sugar dysregulation, somebody where you feel like you're spaced out, or you're sucker punched. That's the moon card. Howling at the moon, lunatic energy, what is around him, stress, people around him. Don Jr., for example, is probably going to be one of the people charged. That's something that's come up in the past. Concerned by Ivanka that her brother is going to be the one that takes the heat for this. We now have pictures of him and Giuliani and the suspects that were arrested. There's also evidence that it was Don Jr. who they intercepted the call, told Michael Cohen to destroy documents. Remember, they hid the documents over at Michael Cohen's offices because Don Jr. thought there was going to be a raid. That's what the remote showed. So Don Jr. committed a crime by moving those documents over to Michael Cohen's offices. And the feds caught it. And so the feds instead raided Cohen's offices. So this is another person attached to Giuliani who is stressed out about this raid. And I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's Don Jr. The hope and the fear, right? The justice and the final outcome. He's going to negotiate. Anybody who's a reader knows that temperance means negotiation. So we're looking at Giuliani attempting to negotiate himself out of this because they have everything. Space card is High Priestess, so the truth is out. It's a treasure trove. Yeah. He's going to break with he's going to do the same deal that Cohen's going to make. It's pretty funny. Somebody had said that MAGA stands for make attorneys get attorneys, because all of President Trump's attorneys have to get attorneys, whether it's Giuliani or that guy Dodd or Michael Cohen. They're all having to get attorneys for having committed crimes for Donald Trump. So you can see here the transformation is also coming in for Giuliani. Look at this. The other person is still chained. Look at this. I bet you that's Don Jr. Hopes and fears, the higher self, the ethos, the Constitution. That's what they're... And the final outcome, Ace of Wands. He might do prison time, but he is going to make a deal. Let's, sit down, have a talk with the FBI. They have a soft spot for him. He used to work for them. But, yeah, he really has no choice. He has no choice. He's going to have to make a deal. Whether or not, they're going to have to arrest and charge him, and then he can see if he can make a deal after that. Okay, how we doing? Everybody having fun? Yeah, Minx. Minx cap pinks forever. Yeah, just keep grounding yourself because there's nothing else we can do other than to just send light and keep your own houses in order. Be an ethical person. Be honest with the people you love. The prime directive is that we love and take care of our families and ourselves and live upright lives and keep ourselves and our families safe. There's really, you know, the feds are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Pence is in trouble too, and that's why he had an insurance policy. It might be able to bail him out of some of this stuff. Melania be deported? No, she's not going to be deported. Dershowitz is one of the people that pressured Epstein to commit suicide. I'm convinced of that. Why W Teresa G? I don't know what that question is. I'm sorry. Supreme Court supports release. The Supreme Court, there's only two that are, not even three, that are going to stand by the president. I did do a remote on the Supreme Court and about the case that was rejected in the appeals about the taxes. And when I sat in Ginsburg's shoes, they were meeting. They do this, I guess, a couple times a month. They spend a couple hours going over what cases that they should take. And I was very surprised that Ruth Ginsburg actually has a pretty good relationship with Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh really deeply respects her, and she always gets to sit first. I mean, he's actually quite respectful with her. But anyway, whether you like him or not, but it was interesting to see that dynamic in the remote. But she doesn't want to take these cases because she feels like it's the argument that I got from Ginsburg in the remote was that there's no need to take up these cases, that they should be rejected outright by the Supreme Court because the appeals court made the right decision and it's pretty cut and dried. And so there's really no reason for the Supreme Court to take up these cases. So whether or not they'll even get a majority of Supreme Court justices to approve looking at the case is questionable, because when I listened to the argument by Ginsburg, there's nothing there that would compel the Supreme Court to take up the case as far as she's concerned. It's cut and dried. There's really nothing here that would suggest that the appellate courts or that the other courts got it wrong, that if there's no gray area here. So if there's no gray area, Ginsburg's argument was, I see no reason why we should take up this case. The only reason to take up the case in the Supreme Court would be if there was a gray area, and there doesn't appear to be one. So if it's settled in the appellate courts, if it's settled in the lower courts, it's settled. And so getting past her and getting past other members of the Supreme Court thinking that it's even a priority is going to be a challenge. That's what I saw. But it was so cool to sit in her energy, like, oh, this is how the laws are decided. Like, she's so logical. I'm nothing like this. Like, just to be able to just say, like, okay, what would be the function? Emotion aside, what would be the function of the Supreme Court taking this on? Because I don't see anything other than a black and white case here. Like, this is what Congress's rights are. This is the solution. There's nothing here about that it has to be an official impeachment. So that's basically where it is with the Supreme Court right now. They can convince Ginsburg and some of the other justices that it's worth their while, they'll take it on. But right now, as it stands, based on that remote, they might not even be willing to take it. All right. Let's go ahead and look at Marie Yovanovitch. All right, what is happening with your Marie Yovanovitch, and will others follow suit? Marie Yovanovitch. Okay, so I just got something about Mueller again. He's taking a back seat until Roger Stone. The information that was coming out about the deal that Trump had with the National Enquirer is somehow linked to the case with Stone. And so that is all going to erupt during the Stone trial, during the Stone case. That's what I'm picking up. And that Mueller will be back again. We're going to be seeing more of Mueller in about 2.5 months when these cases start to come up again. Probably before that, actually. But things start heating up in about 2.5 months. Okay. People are calling, this is what I'm being told, people are calling Marie Yovanovitch, people who know things, and they're asking her what they should do because they're afraid for their safety, their jobs, their families. And she's saying to them that they need to come clean because that way they'll be protected, that they need to sanitize it by coming out and saying everything, and that the only protection is coming out and being clean. So people are contacting her because of their own unique situations, and they're asking her advice. This is the first thing we're getting. She will win. You can see she has the Ace of Swords, victory after tears, and the Strength card. She has strength behind her. She won. She's already won. Let's go in. Understand that the base of the matter, always take 2. 1 is going to tell you some stuff, but 2 is really going to let you know what this is in relationship with. Most of the readers I work with, people that I go to, people that I teach, we usually will take 2 bases because it makes it a little bit easier to understand what the base of the issue is. And here we can see a nice Ace of Swords, victory in a war or victory in a challenge that has been caused a past unhappiness, tears. The laurel wreath comes. This is also spiritual grace, and a Strength card, which can denote having a strong position. Where she's at right now, she made a deal. So she's under tremendous protection right now. What crosses her, spies or some type of legal, some type of police action or spying, also crossing her. What is above her, she's going to be protected. They are ensuring that because she came forward, because she followed the subpoena, because she did the whistleblowing, she's going to be financially protected. They are telling her that her position is solid and that she will not have her retirement, her money, or her job threatened as a result. She was documenting things, she was silent, and she was organizing things for the intelligence agencies before people found out about her. But Trump's team knew that she was doing an investigation, that she was doing internal documentation, that she was asking questions they felt uncomfortable with. And it was based on this investigation that she was doing that led to Trump wanting to get rid of her. You can see she's coming out of the hermit phase, which means that she was a whistleblower because of information she was collecting about the administration, and that's why Trump tried to get rid of her. This came up inverted. I'm going to go ahead and let it invert, even though I read my senior deck straight up. Concerns about losing her retirement. Where she's at right now, again, holding the coin, frugality. There's a real fear that there's going to be a financial consequence, either having to get lawyers or losing her job. The other side is going to have to leave this battle because they can't win it. The hope and the fear, again, she's really worried about her finances and her retirement and her family as a result of this. And then the final outcome, she receives some kind of an offer or some assurance. Yeah, she's going to be okay. 6 of Pentacles moving in. She will be victorious. She's going to be okay. They're not going to take her pension away. They'll try. But the fact that in her 8th house there's a 5 of Swords would suggest that the people going after her are going to abandon this battle, because if they continue to attack her publicly, it will not bode well for them because of how she handled herself. And that is the same advice she's going to give other people, other whistleblowers that are asking her, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? You need to come clean, tell the truth, say you didn't report because you were afraid, but you need to come clean and sanitize it. So that's the advice she's giving, and that means that there will be more whistleblowers. All right, we've got time for one more throw. Bill Barr, I think people had asked about. So we're going to go in and take a look at Bill Barr next. What is going on with Bill Barr? Shepard Smith could sue Fox because I was looking at that and then I got a remote on it. What happened with Shepard, is his name Shepard Smith? Is that correct? What seems to have happened is that he was being asked to do things that he felt increasingly uncomfortable with, and that was why he got a lawyer. So he was being asked to say things or report things or do things that he was having moral and ethical problems with. And it potentially could have been a lawsuit and a criminal investigation. So in order to avoid that mess, they agreed to let him get out of his contract early. However, the feds are going to start investigating Fox because of money, investments, etc. Fox is in trouble, and this person, Shepard Smith, getting out of it, he may be questioned by the feds, but it had to do with the ethics that he was refusing to do something for Fox. That's what happened. All right, Barr. The feds are starting to question people at Fox. FBI agents have actually shown up there. So now people at Fox are getting lawyers because the FBI has shown up and begun questioning people. And Shepard Smith got out at the right time. This is really getting interesting. All right, Barr. Clamming up, you're not going to be hearing much about him right now. He is zipping it, 2 of Swords, but he does have a lot of information. There's an Empress card there, like the treasure trove that ever overflows, right? Right now, zipping it. This is why it's so hard to get into Barr's records. Fool take a leap of faith regarding a situation that has changed or been transformed. What is above him? Some kind of an offer regarding a star card. Double aces, he's going to report. He's holding on to something, a treasure trove of something, but he kept a lid on it. So he went as far as he could legally to protect this president while simultaneously documenting stuff. And when it got to a point where he could no longer protect the president, he began to cooperate and hand things over to the FBI that he had observed. It's a mess. There's the Justice Department. I don't think he knowingly knew it was going to get to this point. Hopes and fears that he's going to leave the Justice Department. Look at this. Final outcome, multiple choices. This guy's confused. He's got to get out of there. He's got to get out of there. He's got to get out of there because right now he's shell-shocked. Like, how did I get manipulated into this? This is the amazing things about sociopaths. If you've ever been a victim of a malignant narcissist, they're like a Svengali. They will get you to do things you never thought you would do. And not that Barr is the most innocent person in the world, but he's jumping ship. He's jumping ship. But right now he's a little shell-shocked. Okay, are we done? Is that it? Did we get to everything? Shep and Murdoch? Murdoch's becoming an old man, but I see the FBI showing up at the Fox News station wanting to talk to people, so that can never be a good sign. How'd we do? Did we get to everybody's questions? Is everybody okay? All right, I think we are done. Thank you everyone for the support of the channel. I just checked our numbers. It looks like we've raised close to $900 for charity this month, as is our way. On the 22nd, we will be doing a charity. We will be making our donation, so be sure and let us all know where you want the money to be going to. If you do participate. Also, my beloved Michael has invented a beautiful t-shirt called I am my beloved and my beloved is mine, with a nice beautiful heart burning, which is, very beautiful. Anyway, if you want to support True Love, please think about buying one of the t-shirts. Because we would really be grateful if that would happen. Thanks, everyone. And I guess I will see you soon. I'm going to try and do yes, it's very romantic. And I've fallen in love with a brilliant artist. So he's made some great art. He's also got hats and all kinds of things. But so check out his link below if you'd like to support that. Twin Flames. Yes, Twin Flames and my soulmate. Yes. Met him when I was 24. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Peace out, and thanks for support. Bye.